Hello everyone, I hope all of you watched the first video and have some idea about communication intelligence. So further, we need to think about the process of communication. What actually is communication? How can we understand this process of communication? What are the elements constituting communication? We need to think about all that. Now, in any form of communication, there would be a sender and a receiver. Now, you might wonder, you might get a picture that it's actually a one-to-one communication, that here's the sender and there is a receiver. No, even in mass communication, if I'm the sender here, you guys, all of you are receivers. So there is a sender and a receiver, and there is a medium or a channel of communication. Now I'm using these video tutorials as a medium of communication, YouTube as a medium of communication. There is a sender, which is me or the producer of the message, and there are the receivers, which are you guys, and there is the channel or the medium through which the communication takes place. So these are probably the most essential requirements for any communicative process. So how does the communication process take place? Now I have an idea in my head. I have some idea in my head which I want to communicate to the receiver. So I use my articulatory mechanism, or the society has given us some articulatory mechanism called the language. So if we both share the common medium of language, then we can make a proper communication. There are many other ways in which we communicate also, without language even. At times, you must have seen when a friend of yours is very sad, what do? You just go probably and put your arm around them, and a very deep message is communicated without any form of language. Their touch itself becomes a language. So any form of communication, it can be in a way generalized as language. So you who is offering that touch to your friend becomes the sender there, him being the receiver there, and touch being the medium there. So you are actually encoding the message in your mind into whatever communication form you know. You are encoding the message that I am there for you into that touch. And that receiver, your friend, is decoding that message through your touch, that you are there for me. See how beautiful the process of communication is. So the sender encodes a message that is there in his mind into some form of communication, and the receiver decodes that message and makes sense of that message. So there's a sender, there's the receiver, there's a medium or channel of communication, and then there is encoding, and the receiver decodes that message. And this encoding-decoding process can be slightly complicating. The thing is, the kind of experiences that I have might be entirely different from the kind of experiences that the receiver has. So the encoding and decoding can be slightly problematic. Imagine that I am somebody who wears glasses. Okay, so when I say the word glasses, when I encode the idea glasses into my message, my notion of glasses would be entirely different from somebody who has never worn glasses at all. For the other person, it is just an object that aids vision. But for somebody who has been using glasses for years, these glasses are actually their life companions. Without these glasses, they cannot survive. So the message encoded by the sender while saying the word glasses, and the message decoded by the receiver while hearing the word glasses need not be the same. So that might cause slight communication gaps there. So this is just an introductory part. I'm just giving you the basic elements of communication. That's the sender, the receiver, and there's a channel. Then there's encoding the message, then decoding the message. So the message goes there, and feedback comes this way. When I say something to another person, he responds. There is feedback. So communication is a cycle there. There is the message and the feedback between the sender and the receiver. So I hope that this process of communication is as simple and clear as it can be. So think of all your everyday forms of communication, text messaging, or even when you're watching television, that is some form of communication. Think who is the sender there, who is the receiver there, what is the channel there, how is the message encoded, how is the message decoded, and how is the feedback possible. Not in all mediums feedback may be possible. Responding to a message may not be possible. So think of all these elements. I'm not confusing you. These are very basic elements of communication. I just wanted you to think of all that. Communication is something that happens without our awareness most of the time, but now as students of communication, think of all these processes. You will enjoy it. Thank you for listening. I'll see you in the next class.